Hello and welcome everyone to Newspaper Analysis Townhall. Today, 12th July, we are going to see the following topics from the newspaper. Firstly, we will see simultaneous elections, where two ex-Chief Justices of India have raised concern regarding some provisions of 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill regarding the simultaneous elections. Second, we will see legislative councils. Recently, Maharashtra Security Bill has been passed by Legislative Council of Maharashtra. We will see what are legislative councils and how they are formed. The next, gender gap report by World Economic Forum. Then one horned rhino and World Heritage Site, where Maratha Fort has been recently included in the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So let's start. Simultaneous election bill. See, before going to the issue where the Chief Justices, the ex-Chief Justices, Justice 𝐮𝐻𝐻 and D.Y. Chandrachud have raised concern regarding the section 82A5 of the Constitution 129th Amendment Bill. Before going to this, let us see what are simultaneous elections and what is the context to it. What are various committees regarding the conduct of simultaneous elections? Then what is 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill? What are its various provisions? Then is there any need of simultaneous elections in India? And what are the issues associated with it? What is simultaneous election? Simultaneous election basically means where elections to Lok Sabha and all the state assemblies will be held simultaneously. Simultaneously does not mean that the elections will be held in one day. No. Even for Lok Sabha, we see elections are conducted in various phases. So elections will be conducted in various phases. Presently, what is happening in 2024, Lok Sabha elections happen. But this year we have Bihar election. Last year we have Maharashtra, Haryana elections. So basically the governments are all the year are busy in conducting elections or also participating in elections. So there is this apprehension that there is very less space for the governance. Until 1967, elections were held simultaneously only. But after 67, there were some suspension of state governments, then leading to the scattered elections. Okay, various committees in the past have recommended conduction of simultaneous elections. The latest one being the high-level committee under the former President of India, Ramnath Kovind, which has suggested the simultaneous election should be conducted. It has given a roadmap also. The 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill has used the provisions, the suggestions given in this committee's report. Law Commission also in the past have recommended the conduct of simultaneous election in its various reports. The National Commission to review the working of Constitution has also recommended the same. Also, Niti Aayog working paper also has recommended the same. What is 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill? See, 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill is related to all those articles which deals with election or Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly term. A new article has been inserted, Article 82A, where 6 provisions are there, 1 to 6. Now the contention which we discussed, which we saw in the paper today regarding to 82A5, where there is an option with the Election Commission of India if it finds that the election to a legislative assembly or election to a state cannot be conducted with Lok Sabha. So it can decide to not hold the election and write to the president to decide a later date for the election. So the Chief Justices, the ex-Chief Justices are saying this is the unbridled power which is being given to the Election Commission. How Election Commission can be given such powers where Election Commission on its own can decide whether to conduct election or not? The section in its current form says, this is the verbatim. If the Election Commission is of the opinion that the elections to any legislative assembly, that is state, cannot be conducted along with the general election, that is Lok Sabha, House of People. It may make a recommendation to the President to declare by an order that the election to that assembly may be conducted at a later date. Justice 𝐮𝐻𝐻 says this power should rest with the Parliament, or the Union Council of Ministers should have a say in this. So this is the concern which has been raised by the ex-Chief Justices in front of the parliamentary panel. Now the bill has gone to Joint Parliamentary Committee, and the panel is headed by BJP, the MP PP Chaudhary. Okay. Now the next is amendment to the Article 83 and 172. Article 83 is related to Lok Sabha, and 172 is related to the State Legislative Assembly. Basically, how simultaneous elections can happen. If a state assembly is dissolved before its maturity, that is before the term of 5 years, then what can happen? Then in such terms, if for example, if it has expired in 4 years, then the next election to this assembly will be held only for 1 year. That is, the party which will come in power will be in power for only 1 year, and after that elections will be held again. So the amendments will be made in Article 83 and also Article 172, so that the simultaneous elections, the duration of the houses can be adjusted accordingly. Here also the issue has been raised. See, former CJI has flagged this loophole also. For example, if a state assembly's session is cut short and election to be held for the remainder of the term, then for example, if the remainder of the term is only 3 months or a week or a day, then what can happen? What will happen? So it is suggested by the ex-CJI that the Parliament must define the remaining period. That what should be the minimum remaining period for that the elections can be conducted. Obviously, elections cannot be conducted for 3 weeks. For example, say Delhi Assembly is resolved in 4 years and 11 months. So the elections will be held for 1 month. So this should be defined in the amendment bill. Then amendment to Article 327, which is related to Election Commission, where the powers is being given to Election Commission regarding conduct of simultaneous elections. The key here is that the local bodies have been excluded. Local bodies have not been included in this provision. And similarly, UT for the Union Territories Laws Amendment Bill to synchronize the elections in Delhi and Jammu and Kashmir. So this is the provisions regarding the 129th Constitutional Amendment Bill and various concerns regarding this. Okay, the very basic question comes is why we are doing this? What are the benefits of simultaneous elections? See, we can see the elections in India almost every year. There are 4 to 5 to 6 states going for the elections. So the election machinery, the paramilitary forces all have to be deployed. So if elections to State Assembly and Lok Sabha are done in a single phase or done synchronously or simultaneously, then this cost will be reduced. First is cost reduction, that is the economic front. Second is, as we discussed also, the governments, the central government, also the state governments are busy in elections only. Leaders are busy in elections. One election goes, the second comes. So there is very less space for the governance, so that they can focus on the governance aspect of the government. So it will improve the governance. Third, Law Commission has said that it will improve the voter turnout, because voter also get fatigued going to the elections by polls again and again. So if elections are held only one time, then voters are also incentivized or motivated. Okay, we should go. Why? Because elections to the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies are happening at the same time. But there are certain issues and also challenges in its implementation. National issues and state issues are not same. National issues can be related to defense, national security, foreign policy, or overall economic situation in the country, whereas state issues can entirely be different. It can be based on some reservation demand, some jobs, agriculture, migrant situations. So issues are very different, and in this, if elections are conducted simultaneously, then voters will not be able to take informed decision. informed decision. Second, again, now we see before election, everybody sees that the government is working day and night. The roads are being constructed, water and electricity is being ensured. So if elections are there, government or national parties or the regional parties or political parties, they are working. They are ensuring the delivery of services. But if elections are happening, say for example, today elections happen to state assemblies and Lok Sabha. Now for the next 5 years, there will not be any election. So it may reduce the accountability of the government. Governments may just sit idle and do nothing for the welfare of the people. Again, it can impact the regional parties adversely, because in simultaneous elections, people can have a tendency to vote for the same party for the Lok Sabha as well as the state assembly. The challenge in the implementation would be the constitutional amendments required, because if there is not the support from the regional parties or the allies, then it may face hurdles in the Rajya Sabha. May not be in Lok Sabha, but Rajya Sabha it can face hurdles. These are the various issues and challenges related to the simultaneous elections. So if any question comes on simultaneous election, I think we can write a very good answer on this. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to the next article. Yes, Legislative Council of Maharashtra passes the Maharashtra Security Bill. Let's discuss briefly what is the bill is about. It will not be asked in the exam because it is related to some state. Basically, the bill is to impose punishment for the members of unlawful organizations. The punishment can range from 2 to 7 years. It is a cognizable and non-bailable offense, will be considered under this law. And the government will have the authority to seize and forfeit funds belonging to such groups. Now, what are legislative councils? See, for the central government, we know there are two houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha members come from states. What Rajya Sabha do? Basically, if any bill has to be passed, except for the money bill, then Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha both have to pass it. So if a bill, the government has majority in this, if a bill is passed by Lok Sabha, and if there are such provisions in the bill or in the upcoming act, then Rajya Sabha can block it. So it is a kind of revisionary chamber. Revisionary chamber. Similarly, in states, there is state legislative assembly and state legislative council. But state legislative council is present only in the 6 states as of now in India. What are those 6 states? Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra. We just saw Maharashtra Legislative Assembly, Legislative Council, and Karnataka. So these 6 states are state legislative council. How come the legislative council is not present in all states? If some state wants to have a legislative council, what it can do, or what it if Maharashtra say tomorrow wants to abolish the legislative council, can it do it? So let's see the constitutional provisions regarding creation or abolition of state legislative councils. It is being dealt under Article 169. Basically, Parliament has the power, but Parliament alone does not have the power. So what is the procedure? First of all, a state assembly will pass a resolution with special majority. Keep this in mind. Either to create or abolish. Then it will go to Parliament. If Parliament passes it with ordinary majority, that is simple majority, then either the creation or abolition of state legislative council will happen. So first state assembly will pass it, then Parliament will pass it. It with special majority, Parliament with simple majority. Then the composition and the terms of the member under Article 171. Composition, it should be less than or equal to 1/3 of state legislative assembly. For example, if UP state legislative assembly has 403 member, so around 134 should be the maximum but it should be minimum 40. So minimum 40 members, maximum this. So this will be the strength of the State Legislative Council for Uttar Pradesh. Okay, the term is 6 years, like Rajya Sabha members only, and there is no dissolution. It is a permanent house. So members retire every 2 years. So the members in this come from, some are nominated by governor, some come from elections by the colleges, the universities. Some members come from the, which are selected by the members of legislative assemblies. Yes, does Legislative Council of a state has equal power as compared to Rajya Sabha? No, because in Rajya Sabha, what happens if a bill is passed in Lok Sabha? Okay, then it goes to Rajya Sabha. If Rajya Sabha does not pass it, then the bill is not considered to be passed. The bill is not passed. But in Legislative Council, if a bill is passed by Legislative Assembly, it goes to Legislative Council. It can delay it for 3 + 1, maximum 4 months. If in 4 months it does not pass it, it is considered to be passed only. And the suggestions or the recommendations given by the council are not binding or mandatory for assembly. Why? Because maximum delay can be of 4 months. So Legislative Council does not have the same power as of Rajya Sabha at the center. So this is about legislative councils. Okay, next topic, India's gender gap report. The report was released last month. It is released by World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report. India ranked 131, and last year the rank was 129. So basically the rank has gone down. The gender gap report basically judges on 4 parameters. These questions do come in exams. First of all, economic participation, then health, education, and political presentation. On these 4 parameters, the article is basically discussing about how the India score shows that India lacks in representation of women in economic sphere as well as health. See, the low score is a sign of structural failure holding back national progress. It's a structural failure because the women do not have the equal opportunities as compared to the men. The educational attainment has shown some progress, but the health and economic participation shows otherwise. India's sex ratio at birth is among the most skewed in the world. That shows son preference. In economic survey around 4-5 years ago has talked about this, son meta preference. Healthy life expectancy for women is also now lower than men's. So what is required is budget allocation needs to be increased, especially at primary care level, to improve the women's well-being. According to NFHS 5, keep this data, write it, around 57% of Indian women in the age group of 15 to 49 are anemic. India ranks 143rd on economic participation and opportunities. Women continue to earn less than a third of what men do. If a man is earning 10 rupees, they are earning less than 3 rupees. In 2015, McKinsey Global Institute has released a report saying if India closes the gender gap, then it can add 770 billion to its economy by 25. India missed out on this. Then again, see, women and men. See this. Even the women who are employed, the chances of them being employed in informal sector is higher. Women are more in informal and subsistence work. Secondly, the unpaid care work as housewives, as taking care of the children, the old age people at home. According to Time Use Survey, Indian women perform nearly 7 times more unpaid domestic work than men. So unpaid domestic work, which is sometimes or most of the times not valued. Then the article says that we should focus on supporting senior citizens. Why? By 2050, senior citizens expected to nearly double which is close to 20% of the population. In this time, the old age will increase and the younger population will fall. So in the old age, also there will be women, especially widows, who have high dependency. So there's a need to focus on the senior citizens, economic participation of women, health of women to ensure sustainability of the economic growth for the longer run. So the index released by World Economic Forum, India's rank 129. Last year it was 129. This year it is 131. 4 parameters it considers in its report. Okay. Next is genetic analysis of Assam rhino horn samples initiated. Basically, the purpose of this is to document the individual DNA profiles of the rhino horn and add them to Rhodes India DNA data library. Basically, keeping the track of the population of rhinos as well as the horns of the rhinos. The samples have been collected from 2573 rhinos. See, rhinos. Let's see, for it is important from prelims point of view. Rhinos, there are 5 species worldwide, 2 in Africa, 3 in Asia. White and black. This black is critically endangered. White is near threatened only. Java, Sumatra, both are critically endangered. Then greater one horn rhino. This is present in India. Rest are not present in India. The IUCN status of this is vulnerable. Insights, Convention on International Trade of Endangered Species. It is in Appendix 1. According to this, trade is prohibited except for when it is not for commercial purposes. Wildlife Protection Act, Schedule 1. So it means it is getting the highest protection. Then India has also launched India Rhino Vision. According to this, India is expected to have 3,000 rhinos by 2020. It was launched in 2005. So this is all about rhinos. Now the next, yes, Maratha fort systems get UNESCO heritage tag. Maratha military landscape representing extraordinary fortification and military system environment by the Maratha rulers got the UNESCO World Heritage status. It was a decision taken at 47th meeting in Paris. It has 12 components. See, what are UNESCO World Heritage Sites? UNESCO World Heritage Sites are those landmark places which are recognized by UNESCO for their cultural, historical, and natural significance. That is, they are significant from the either cultural prospect or historical or natural. In India, there are 43 World Heritage Sites. Now, one added. So, total 44. This is the list also I am providing you. Please have a look at this and do memorize them. One fact which can come is the highest sites are in Maharashtra. One more is added now. A total 6 sites are from the Maharashtra. Chandigarh, Delhi, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Sikkim, Bihar, UP, Uttarakhand, Assam, Bengal, Telangana, MP, and Odisha. So do memorize them, do remember them. Okay, so this is it for today. I hope the studies are going fine. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment box. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you.